Okay, I have just come up with a completely 100% original idea to build a randomly generated monster model. I found these cards that exist for some reason and just randomly rolled numbers to make my selections. I chose to use 7 cards. This was a completely random decision. Again, this is a 100% original idea and video concept I just invented right now. Okay, there's my cards. Now, you gotta draw for some reason, so here I am. I think there's gonna be a face with a mouth that is so big that the sides of the mouth are actually ears, and some more ears that are so big that they're actually wings. You gotta have a jetpack type thing, maybe, and then an eel mouth with a big cyber bee stinger in it. Great. Building time. Step 1. Acquire garbage. Use a bunch of lids to make a sweet jetpack. A few other lids can form a big fuel tank, or something. The age-old cardboard slab technique is used here to ensure a strong bond. Oh yeah, we need to be inspired by this pipe, so I'll use these nozzles that have probably been in a human's mouth to add, like, spouts under the fuel tanks. This lint roller rolling portion looks like a neat canister. Using a very hot glue gun point, I poke some holes in there so I can add wires. Don't ask why. Okay, it's so I can eventually make a stronger connection to the body. More hole melt stabbing, and then we can attach these cardboard tubes to be hinges, maybe? I am a good planner. The eel mouth needs eel teeth. Carving up these stirring sticks at an odd angle made some interesting curved and very weak teeth. Later we can strengthen these up with glue. A pen end is a nice little robo bee butt attached to a lid and then thread through with a clothes hanger. The hanger is a bit too long, so I cut it down to... Dang it, what the... I cut it down easily and then fit it into place to make a nice sharp stinger. The eel gets cardboard gums and these nice wooden dentures. Mod Podge is the toothpaste of the eel world, and this guy needs to visit the dentist. Do you hear that? It's time for some big old ears. I draft a sophisticated template utilizing my graphite implement. Gentle bending is all it takes to sculpt in cardboard, and hot glue. A lot of hot glue. I use the airbrush hose to blow around the liquidy glue because it's fun, and I thought I might get some nice shapes out of it too. I keep building up the shape with more cardboard chunks. Ow! Stack those completed ears like the Diablo 4 rogue. Wasn't that a neat preview?
Did you guys not have phones?
Spackle time. The best and worst sculpting medium that there is. Slap that on, and once it's mostly dry, I smooth it out with flowing warm spackle soup. Hearty. It's time to face facts. We need a face. More plastic lids come out to play, and are swiftly hacked to bits. After some fiddling and gluing, we have a rough foundation. These are great teeth. It will be a real shame to cover up these pearly wooden whites. Speaking of pearls, I slap on these semi-spherical beads to give this monster some peepers. These lids make up some plug earrings, which I will later try to pass off as cybernetic components. I planned to sculpt the main detail of the face, so I added in this armature to give him a very angry unibrow. I love this so much. I should have stopped right here. That is the true face of a monster. Quick return trip to the dentist to rebuild that enamel. The spackle is backle, this time to seal up all the unsightly gaps on the jetpack. The ears get a generous glop of modeling paste goop, which is stippled, naturally. I do my best impression of a competent modeler and mix up some 2-part epoxy. Once the color is green, it's ready to go. I use this, quote, green-colored putty, as I call it, to smush a bunch of skin onto the monster's face. Cheeks and lips and the part under the eyes. Then I start to deftly mold and shape the putty with a metal stick. Once I have tamed those angry eyebrows and given him some eyelids, I quickly press some shapes into the lower jaw before it cures. I use a drill and some wire to make the plastic on plastic gluing a bit more solid. With the body constructed, it's time to slap that sting cannon on the bottom. Using these sock hooks hooked on the cardboard tubes, I make a convincing stinger mount, or a stanger hanger. Oh gosh, I should get stung with this thing. Lots of glue and a secret cardboard tube later, and the body is done. When it comes to organic shapes, you can't just rely on hot glue sprayed with an air hose. Sometimes you also must mash in twine fibers. This is an okay technique to get a few more interesting surface details. Really, it works best for making stuff like trees. Apparently it's spackle time again. This time I layer on some soup to homogenize the glue lump and twine. Stippling this soup goop is a nice way to texture up plain plastic, especially when you're trying to make something more geometric appear to be organic. A few more details get added on, like this race car toupee, soda lid jetpack edition, and of course, the bit. He did it! He used the bit! The toupee is lonely and needs a spiky cardboard mohawk to satisfy the requirements of the spike card. Big flappy ears need a minimum of 3 wire attachment points. Ah, the miracle of ear-powered flight. Reinforce the ears and then more spackle. I really hate gaps, they must all be filled. I try to get these jets to appear as one solid piece of machinery. For a bit of greebly detail, I have fixed several green stuff rivets. My best rivet advice is to use tons of glue and then nudge the bit around until it looks right. Almost done now, and what? Oh, I need to use a plain triangle. Very creative. Ah yes, these old blades are slightly triangular. 4-sided triangles. Oh yeah, time for some body mods. I add these definitely dull and safe blades in as some awesome earrings / navigation fins. While we are here, let's give this monster a bit of general ear damage, like a tough old tomcat. Press the like button now if you have fully intact ears. Alright, painting time. Nobody seems to like it when I say I'm not the best painter in the world, so you know what? I am the greatest painter in the world. Mortals, they weep in the face of such resplendent glory. Now, that being said, I will intentionally reduce the amount of skill I demonstrate just to make this more approachable. I do a lazy primer and highlight with black and white, then I start in on the metal parts. I like to make my own colors. This one is called brown silver metal. This then gets highlighted with silver silver. Next up is custom blue skin. All these fleshy bits get this. Nice. White ink is added in for highlights, and then again for higher lights. I thought these dots might look cool, but I don't think they showed through in the end. Holiday red for a nice glaze, just to give that delightful blood red to the mouth and ears. I add in a bit of black for some variation too. Gross. Keep the glaze train going with these dark blue shadows. This is my favorite green-blue for painting machinery. Here's my standard technique for painting weathered metal. Leave those edges exposed. Teeth and spikes get an off-white base coat. Then using yellow we get some stripes on the bee bum and kind of a caution stripe thing up here on the crest. The metals get a double glaze. All of these glazes and washes use a ton of acrylic varnish. Just cuz. It seems to change the property and kind of makes the ink sit on the surface. It's really good, trust me. So we do a dirty brown on the top half and a rusty orange down south. This is probably my favorite method for unifying a metal surface. It's easy too. Like a lot of people, these teeth are noticeably white. Let's tone that all down with a light brown wash. Same treatment on the horns and the eel mouth. Finish up the stinger and caution stripe with some black. I guess the eyes too. And here is the showcase of my patrons. Thank you, patrons. You are the driving force of the channel, and I appreciate all of your support. If you're watching and you're some kind of non-patron, you might consider investing in the channel. Alright, according to the analytics, everybody closes the video as soon as the final model is revealed, so I won't take too much of your time. If you really want to see it in detail, I recommend going to half or quarter speed on the YouTube player. Okay, ready? Here it is. And 3, 2, 1, like, share, subscribe, see you in the next epic build video.